7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Hello there. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first live on the Dino Joe channel. Thank you, everyone who is in it, who's come over from Milky's channel and Tells. Really appreciate it. Tonight on the show, we're talking all things Ahsoka. So, fresh off the season finale, we're going to dive right in. Oh, no focus. That's all right. I've got 3 guests this evening, all with very, very different opinions. So without further ado, let's bring the first one in. A familiar face, you all. Let's bring in Ryan Milky. Hello. You all right?
Hello. How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Good to be here.
Yeah, not too bad. On the other end of the other side of the screen tonight, usually I just have to sit back, enjoy a bev on Tells. And now I'm
all the pressure's on you tonight.
That's it. All the button clicking is me. So
let's go, dude. I'm super hyped for you. It's going to be a great night. It's going to be a good conversation, good friends.
Let's see who we've got in here. So we've got Christina. Hello, Christina. Thank you for joining. Corey, good to see you. Good to see you, Corey. Mystery Madness Collectibles. Thank you for coming over. Really appreciate it. My other half. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you for ages. So and let's bring on our other guest. Tell is running late as he is late from work. But let's bring on someone else. So let's bring on Awemboe. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. You dragged me out of YouTube retirement for this.
I have indeed.
Happy to be here.
Lovely. How's everything with you? It feels strange to be in front of a camera again?
Yeah, I forget how massive my head is and how much room I need to leave. But I've got the tape measure out, make sure it fits. Yeah, we're good. We're ready. Make sure we're ready to go.
Back.
I have a headset as well now, so it's nice.
Very nice. Right, so let's get on with the show. So let's go through the breakdown. So the schedule for this evening, we were introducing our guests, which we have done, except from Mr. Tell Talks, who is running late. So we will see him when we see him. So first things first, we're going to go through the characters individually, what we thought of them during the series, whether they compared to their animation counterparts, some of the new characters, and just what we thought of their arcs overall. Things we liked and we disliked about the series. What's next for the future of Star Wars regarding Ahsoka characters we've seen. Got a bit of a quiz for the boys and the chat. So in one of the rounds, the chat is getting involved. So that should be fun. Our overall thoughts of it all. And then the stream will be open to the chat for the end of the evening. Anything that you guys want to ask us about potentially our upcoming weekend or anything to do with Star Wars or Ahsoka. So let's get straight into it. So the first characters from the series we're going to look at is Huyang, Ahsoka, and Sabine. So we'll start with you, Awemboe. What did you think of these 3 during the series?
So, Huyang, I think they nailed. David Tennant nails everything he's in. I look forward to your opinions. The brilliant little nugget of Ahsoka in episode 5 or 6, I think it's episode 6 at the end, saying, "Tell us a story," in the whale, and he goes, "A long, long time ago." Getting Gallic roll credits. But no, very well done, particularly from when we saw him in the early Clone Wars episode with the younglings, the Wookiee youngling, whose name escapes me off the top of my head. But I think they nailed him really well. They translated him well. He looks brilliant. I think it's a very interesting character, and I've seen a lot of theories going around that he's the one telling the stories. It's all from his perspective, but absolutely nailed it. Brilliant as David Tennant. Love the character. Ahsoka, I think I always find interesting, and I think the thing that made it interesting for me was, don't get me wrong, the actress has done a phenomenal job, but when we saw the younger actress play young Ahsoka, I think the disparity between, I think the acting is brilliant, but it's the fight sequences, it's the fluidity of her lightsaber form with 2 blades. I know she's an older Ahsoka, so I'm aware that, again, her skills are going to change. But when we saw the short period of the Clone Wars, and we saw the younger actress doing the typical fluid movements that we were used to seeing on the Clone Wars. I thought that was quite an interesting disparity between the two. But all credit, still, still done a good job. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Sabine, I feel like Sabine has had the thing is with like particularly with these things with acting. Like I know the Sabine actress got a lot of criticism for the moment that Sabine sees Ezra again. You know, there's she's missing her friend. She betrays Ahsoka to go find him. She puts the ability for Thrawn to come back to the galaxy on the plate to go and find her best friend. She sees him. Hi. Nice to see you again. Like there was, you know, it was a very underwhelming reunion. But something to note here, and I don't think is always credited to actresses as well. She may not have got a choice there. If the director's gone, "Oh, this is how we want to shoot it. You're going to be here. He's going to be here. You know, I want to film this shot and this shot." And she's
exactly that.
Yeah.
Same as Mark Hamill in The Last Jedi. That's not Luke Skywalker, but it was Mark Hamill playing. Mark Hamill's done what he's been told to do well.
Yeah, and I think
it's just
she's done Sabine justice. She has played Sabine well. I think she has. I think all the character actors have done a brilliant job, and I think she's played it well. And I think that a discussion that we're going to end up having is the choices, in the same way that Hayden Christensen got the same shtick, was not in the shortness of the actor's ability, their enthusiasm, and playing it well. I think certain director, screenwriter decisions were made that are being imposed on the actors. But that's my 10p.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I think that was the same with the Kenobi show. I don't think Reva was played particularly badly. Just the character isn't what the show needed, so it rubs people up the wrong way. I agree with you with Sabine. I think she was played well. I just think the actual character herself became quite jarring, really. By the end of it, she was just a bit. I found it a bit boring. There was parts where I enjoyed it, but certainly the start and probably 3/4 of the way through the series, it started to, just very strange, very strange. Let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat. So Corey said, 3 amazing characters. Looking forward to what they do with Sabine. Yeah, I agree. A very good cliffhanger for her at the end. She started to blossom, I think, in the last half of that episode, and that I did start to enjoy. Christina's put, let's spread the love and the word. Road to 200 for Joe. Really appreciate it, Christina. Thank you very much. Headless is in the chat. What's up, mate? Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in from the other side of the pond. Milky, what about you? What did you think about these 3?
So I just want to say how well eloquently said what Ryan said that, because that was I can't say the words that he just said. Some of the words I was like, I don't know what he's even saying. You all know that Star Wars is pretty new to me for the last 12 months. I've been deep diving with all the movies and watched Clone Wars and Rebels and everything like that. So I don't know. So I'll start with Sabine. She redeemed herself in the final episode for me with the things that she did in the end. But for most of the majority of the season with Sabine, I just felt like she underperformed as a character. Nothing to do with the actress at all, just the character. I feel like a lot of it was rushed. When you think of the long storytelling that they got in Rebels and stuff, she never once had any inkling to want to do anything with the Force. You know, she was a badass Mandalorian, and I loved her for it. And now we get into Ahsoka, and it's like it kind of feels like her Mandalorian heritage is just put to the side now, and she doesn't care about that as much. And now she wants to be a Jedi.
That's for the other series.
Dead, she don't care.
That's for the other series.
Exactly. Yeah. So with Sabine, there's still room for improvement with her, but I think the actress is fantastic. I've been following her on Instagram, and she's been posting some cool stuff. Ahsoka, I've said it before on a live stream, but Rosario Dawson doesn't hit the mark for me as Ahsoka. I know that it's the only live action portrayal that we have, but I was first introduced to Ahsoka through the Clone Wars, and Ashley Eckstein. I know she's just the voice, but I need that voice when I see Ahsoka, and I would love to see somebody maybe do a dub one day with Ashley Eckstein's voice over this season, because I think it could be a good thing. But yeah, Ahsoka's great. She's a great character. I like that she's connected with Anakin and the way that she's going forward with her story and where they've left it. I think it's a fantastic thing. Now we'll get on to Hu Yang. Hu Yang, probably my top 3 favorite characters in this show. Absolutely love this dude. Again, voiced by David Tennant. you all know I like Doctor Who, Matt Smith, all that stuff. It all connects. I've even been slightly scripting how Star Wars Ahsoka could be connected to Doctor Who with the new show coming out soon, which would be pretty cool. So yeah, I love Hu Yang. Again, I can't say the eloquent things as much as everyone else, but I love the three of them. They've been good.
With David Tennant playing Hu Yang, and obviously he's done a really good job. If you were going to see David Tennant at a con now, what would you, if you were going to get a pop signed, for example, or even just a poster, what would you get signed now? Would you get a Doctor or would you get Hu Yang?
Hu Yang, because my favourite Doctor is Matt Smith.
I think I'd get Hu Yang as well, you know?
Yeah, Hu Yang.
See, got Hu Yang, but I love him as purple as well. Him and Jessica Jones as purple is
very good shout.
Very good. That is
not Barty Crouch Jr. Yeah, he's a weirdo in that. Jeremy's in. What's up, mate? Nice to see you. Chilling with a bevy. Oh, he's listening to that slang from yesterday. He's been listening to the slang from the Horseman Live. Good on you. Good on you. The late man is in. He's popping in. Nice to see you, senor. Hu Yang was the GOAT of the series, along with the snail guys. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Snails.
Naughty.
Just got my pop to get signed at NYCC. What's that, Headless? Are you getting Hu Yang or are you getting the Doctor? And yeah, trying my UK slang I learned last night. Yeah, doing a good job. That came out pretty smoothly, to be fair.
Said about Hu Yang as well, I got to quickly time into the Lego as well, because he's such a cool Lego minifig. And they've kept him in the Ahsoka shuttle set. And at the moment, do you know what? I wish I wasn't broke, because God, I want the UCS Venator class.
Oh yeah, 650 quid.
I know, and I was trying to see if I could get it to fit on top of my bookshelf. I didn't realize it's like 140. It's like a meter long. It's insane. Yeah, they like Hu Yang is a figure as well. Like they've included him in those sets, and they've done him so well. He's such a nice fig.
I agree. Looks really good. Let's move on then to the next three. So we've got the three villains we're introduced to at the start of the series: Baylan, Shin Hati, and Morgan Elsbeth. So we'll start with you, Milky, this time. What do you think of these three? I know you're a big fan of Shin and Baylan.
Yeah, more so Baylan with the finale episode. I feel like they let down Shin quite a lot. I feel like they let down both of them quite a lot, but maybe that was to do with his passing. I don't know if they'd filmed everything for this season before he passed. I'm not aware of that information, but it did feel like they didn't have any more footage to use with him. But yeah, a fantastic character. For me, he's the sole embodiment of the Ahsoka show. He will be the one thing I remember and the one thing that I want going forward for Baylan. He's so good. And all these theories that are coming out, I thought I knew quite a bit over the last 12 months of the Star Wars binge. But then when things like Abeloth get thrown at me and stuff like this, I'm like, what? Like, I have, Star Wars, Headless is my Star Wars co-host, and he never mentioned Abeloth, not once through my Clone Wars and Rebels reaction videos. So it's insane where it's all coming from. I'm loving it. I can't wait to see where Baylan goes. And unfortunately, Ray Stevenson isn't with us anymore. So I don't
it's
know
such a shame. It is really, isn't it? It's such a shame. Celebration.
I heard that they might cast the guy that played Joe Donovan.
Yeah, I've seen a few rumors. It's just I feel sorry for the actor that gets cast as well, gets recast, gets a lot of pressure. But it's been done before. It's been done with the Joker and a few others. So it has been done before. It is such a shame. At Celebration, he was on the Celebration stage, and he was so well spoken, and just his like mannerisms, he seemed really Norse, and him talking about his character and about being a villain he seemed so pumped to be it, and the way he conducts himself, I was getting really hyped, because it was the first time they shown the trailer was at Celebration. And then I think it was like 3 weeks later he passed away. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. It's such a shame he's not been able to see himself been given his flowers for the character, because he's had so much love. What about Morgan?
Morgan was, I don't know. Morgan was weird. So I had a feeling in this finale episode when she was given the black eyes and all this kind of stuff, it was like she'd done a lot to get Thrawn to where he was, and she was repaid in a way. And I kind of got Wormtail and Voldemort vibes when he gives him his new hand for helping him and he brings him back.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of vibe. And yeah, she was badass in this final episode, but that was probably the best that she was. Like, she was pretty boring all the way through it and pretty much did nothing. You know, her introduction was pretty cool with the samurai when she first meets Ahsoka. And then, the finale last night when I called it in Headless's live. I said she's probably going to get some blades from the mothers, and she did. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, badass that it was Mother Talzin's as well.
Yeah, the burning and all that sort of stuff as well. The way that they filled her with the magic was so sick.
And don't think she's dead by any means. Like, she's coming back, of course.
They can all bloody come back now, can't they?
Exactly.
All of them can do it. Let's see what's going on in the chat then. So Headless says he's got loads of theories about Balin. I bet you do. And fair play, we will get onto it later on in the program. But yeah, a lot of stuff you've said about Abeloth looks like it could be coming true. So fair play. Corey agrees. Favorite character in Star Wars. Well, that is a big statement. That just shows how good the portrayal's been, doesn't it? So yeah, rest in peace, Rey. Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me started with Morgan's. His head's gone. So Ahsoka only has one saber after fight. Yeah, she does. Well, she'll have a staff soon, probably anyway. So we shall see.
Hu Yang's basically Amazon on steroids. Like, he can just make her.
Literally, he's Jeff Bezos Yang. Yeah.
Well,
what about you, Ryan? What did you think about these three?
Milky said it. There's not much more to say about Balin. Rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. What a character. I think something as well that even though he's a Sith, they really started to portray like the ideology of like a grey Jedi or really well. And he carries it brilliantly, and he carries it with, you know, such authority, but they leave him in enough mystery as well that you're wanting more. Noting in the chat as well, the whole Abeloth theories, the fact that, spoilers alert for anyone who's not watched episode 8, I'm assuming you've come here if you watched episode 8. Tune off now. 3, 2, 1. We see obviously the statue of the son, the daughter, and the father from Clone Wars. And if you go into Legends, Abeloth was the mother who tried to keep them together and stop them falling out before becoming sick or something. So that ties in really nicely, again, to the Abeloth theories that she's coming back. Shin, I think, is interesting because, of course, when she was last with Balin, he said, like, you know, your ambition, go be with the Empire. And then...
do one.
Yeah, sod off. Because, of course, I know early theories that she was going to be a vessel for Abeloth. You know, he was going to try and coax her to be the vessel. And they've purposely left her really enigmatic. You know, we're not finding out much about her. All we know is that Balin's trained her. She wouldn't have been trained, I don't think, during Order 66, because that's when Balin was there. So
no, I think she's similar sort of age to Ezra. And Ezra,
exactly.
I think I'm right, correct me if not, but I'm pretty sure Ezra was born on Empire Day, the same as Luke.
Right. I don't know.
So she, in theory, is the same age. So she's been born post Order 66. So she's never known the Order or anything like that. So she's only ever been trained by Balin, I presume. But
yeah, so I think they've purposely left her in mystery, but I think it's an interesting direction they've taken, you know, because if they were going to Abeloth the vessel and Balin's, you know, he's gone to join the Empire, she's been left behind with those mercenary type aliens that we've seen on the planet. So it's kind of like, well, where does her story go there? Interesting place to go with it. Balin's obviously up the father's statue. So, you know, they might bump into each other. He's like, oh, you didn't bother then? All right. Well, by the way, there's this Abeloth over here. Come over a sec. Morgan, again, it's interesting the way they've done her. I thought the whole concept of her finding Thrawn was really good and how they did that. And at the end, as Milky said, Mother Talzin Blades, really nice homage again to the Clone Wars, reference back to that. Dathomir, the Night Sister magic and all that, really cool to see. Ironically, my gripe with her in the last bit wasn't with her particularly. Again, it's the writing. You know, stormtroopers die. We bring them all back. We're carving up stormtroopers. I'd like to add, none of them lost a limb. They're all being carved up with lightsabers, and they're all just getting back up, but no limbs are lost. They're not being sliced in half. They're not crawling on the floor. And then she gets hit by the lightsaber once, and it's like, all right. It's like, hang on a minute. Everyone else has been getting up for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then when Sabine shows up in that heroic, I'm here to save you, Ahsoka, suddenly they're all just like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to get up anymore. Maybe do you think the magic of the Night Sisters has a range? when they got into orbit, they were like, we're out of range now.
Wi-Fi signal wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, they had Sky broadband.
Yes. Sorry, your Virgin O2 doesn't cover that distance. That's fine.
Yeah.
They've done their job.
We knew we should have got fiber, Grand Admiral. Right, okay, let's move on to the next three. So the next three, I've added one of them. They weren't necessarily in the series a lot, but I think they played quite a big part in the little parts that they were in it. So we've got Chopper, we've got Hera, and we've got Jason. Now, for me, Jason is one of my favourite characters from the entire series, just for the little bit of significance he played in episode 4 and 5. I absolutely loved it when he can sense Ahsoka and Anakin, but he can barely sense them, and I really enjoyed that. Hera, I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I think, played her really well, and I was actually really apprehensive, mainly because obviously she is Ewan McGregor's wife, and it felt a little bit as an assumption that she's just getting the job because who you know sort of thing, but she was brilliant. I've only ever seen her in Scott Pilgrim previously, and I can't think of anything else that she's been in that I've watched, so I was really impressed with her portrayal because she's brilliant, and the character's brilliant in Rebels, and it's a lot to live up to, and I thought she was very, very cool. And Chopper, not really a lot to say for me personally about Chopper. Was barely in the series. The mannerisms were good, but it's one of them that there's no need for him to be in the series a lot because it's a droid that wasn't part of the crew in this particular series. Might see more of him in the future, but personally, not really a lot to say. What do you think, Mr. Wembley, about these three?
Chopper, not enough waving arms for me. Not enough of this. I mean, we had the court scene with the New Republic kind of chastising Hera, going, "Oh, you." And again, I think it's really interesting how they're tying in how the New Republic is already making the same mistakes the Empire did. Again, with the line of "There's no such proof of a wider scale rebellion." They're using the same language in parallel to kind of show that the same mistakes. They go, "Oh, the Empire's all this," and they're already making the same mistakes politically, which is quite interesting. But again, you've got this senator saying to Hera, "You're abusing your position," and they don't have Chopper waving his arms or being like, "Yeah, I know he pulls forward a bit, but I mean, the droid's psychotic." The guy's kill count is higher than anybody else's in Rebels.
He's a war criminal.
He is a war criminal. This droid does not care, and this guy's insulting Hera, and he's just kind of like, he'll be.
He's got a better KD than most people in Warzone.
Literally, he's got a better KD than me in Warzone. Hera, again, I think she did brilliantly, particularly because Hera in Rebels is kind of that middle character. It's that character that's just initially there for she doesn't have any like really severe personality traits. She's the leader. It's a generic character. It's not supposed to be, like Thrawn is tactical, this. Hera's a good pilot, but we don't really see that represented. And even with that, she still played the character very well, I think, which with a very limited hand is hard. And as you said, Hera's son, I love that episode 4 homage and the kind of nods to Kanan that they've been including, and they didn't include him much, but again, there's already rumors swirling of Ahsoka or Luke training him, yada yada. So I think it's nice.
Ezra's back now as well.
Ezra's back as well now. So I think Ezra's going to be Kanan's son. Ooh, but we Jedi, maybe apprentice master there. Kanan taught him, he'll teach Kanan's son. So I think that's a really nice little tidbit they've done there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, as you say, they didn't use traits that Hera had in Rebels, but she still portrayed the character well, which is really impressive. As you say, the flying. The only bit of flying we actually got to see her do really was in episode 2, I think, when she's flying the Phantom. out of the shipyard on, is it Corellia? Yeah, it's Corellia. And that's the only bit of flying you really ever see her do, and that's the only bit you really see Chopper with his arms in the air, I think, from the entire series, and that was all trailer footage. So yeah, it's one of those, but they're going to be in future projects, aren't they now? So yeah, let's see what the chat is saying. Corey has said, I wish Chopper was involved more, but it's understandable why. Yeah, exactly that. And that is also obviously a reason. Chopper there just to sell Disney merch. Yeah, it won't be long before you start seeing Chopper droids for the USB that are going around desks for 100 quid. And then in a few years' time, there'll be 20. Same as a BB-8. He's a new BB-8, isn't he? Just with a very big kill count. Ellis agrees with Tell. Disappointed. Yeah, absolutely. Should have been used more. It's one of them. It is one of them. I think Disney are doing quite well at the minute of not just providing fan service, but then they do contradict themselves when they stick C-3PO in just for almost the sake of it. So it's hard to defend them, isn't it? They play it well 1 minute and then the next they kind of go back on themselves. But hey ho, Hera is my second favorite character of the series. Yeah, second. That is high. I'd say probably, I don't know, top 5 maybe for me. I don't know. There's so many characters that stand out on their own that I wouldn't know. What do you think, Milky? Do you think Hera's top 3?
No. No, Hera disappointed me this season.
Really?
She didn't really do much in Clone Wars. I get what Wembley was saying, that she was the mother of the group in the sense she was the leader. She just was there for narrative things and to fall in love with Kanan at the end, and obviously provide this green-haired Joker-looking kid that we've got. No, Hera for me, I feel like she should have. I feel like if the actions that Hera took by disobeying the orders and still helping her friends, if that was in Clone Wars or Rebels, what would have happened was she would have been imprisoned for her wrongdoings, and then the crew would have had to go and save her, and we'd have got another 3-episode boring arc of them going, getting Hera, and coming back to continue the story. So I feel like just because it was live action, that kind of stuff was taken away, and we just got, oh, C-3PO is the cop-out. There was no, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. There was no repercussion for the actions that they'd done, and that disappointed me. Chopper, again, I don't know why, but I feel like Dave Filoni gave us live action Zeb in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I think, personally, Zeb should have took the role of Chopper in this show. It would have had so much more comedy. It would have had the comedic factor, which we don't have in the show, really, except for Hugh Yang's quick whips and things like that. Chopper definitely should have had a higher kill count than Thrawn. Thrawn fired how many bullets down from that ship and didn't get any of them. Chopper would have just gone insane. I wanted him to just launch over that bar when that guy said to him about droids, oh, he's just a mere droid. I wanted Chopper to go crazy and start going nuts with lasers and all that stuff, And Jason, I left him for last because I'm hopeful for him. I think he is the future of Star Wars going forward. I think that they've laid good groundwork for him. And imagine him and Luke teaming up. That'd be sick. Or him and Ezra, and because of who his father is, epic. I think he's gonna be great.
Cal Kestis.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, we will speak about Mr. Cameron Monaghan
there's
later on in the evening, because very exciting for a few of us. Very exciting. Headless said, Milky, I assume this is about you. Disappoint me with your taste.
What's new there?
I assume that's about Hera.
Probably.
Yeah.
What's new there? That's what, we're like yin and yang. That's why we're a good duo.
Hu and Yang. All right, I think we've got one more, maybe 2 left of the characters. So people we're introduced to later on in the series, and they are all absolutely wicked. We'll start with you again, Milky. So what did you think of the introduction of the mothers, the reintroduction of Ezra, and the absolute menacing goat that is Mr. Thrawn?
So I don't like Aladdin Sinbad, whatever his name is. I don't like him. He doesn't. Yeah, he's not Ezra to me at all. When I look at him, he's not Ezra to me. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. It's weird. I miss the hair color, and and all that stuff. I know he's grown up and he's older now, but it's even more Aladdin now, especially from the first episode of Rebels, and they call him a street rat, and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely looks like Aladdin to me. But as a story and a character, I think he's good. He's definitely going to go good moving forward. I like that he got away, and I don't know if Thrawn knows. That's I don't know if he knows. I didn't quite grasp if he understood what happened. The whole jump thing was a bit off for me, but I'm sure we'll get onto that a little bit later. Thrawn is an absolute badass. Love this dude. Like, I had my trepidations about the man through my Rebels reactions. I've said it many times. I thought he was boring, but that was because he didn't have a lightsaber and he wasn't using the Force, and I was watching Star Wars, and that's what I was expecting. And Rebels was completely different, and it took me into a completely different realm and a different story. And I just think he's fantastic. And Lars Mikkelsen, who plays him, is epic. I think he portrays him so good, from the voiceover stuff to the live action. Maybe a couple of nitpick things with the finale episode. Looked a bit weird. But overall, I think he's fantastic, and they portrayed him excellent.
Yeah.
He got his win in the end, and that's what's going to happen. It's leading through the trilogy of his story. And the sisters, dude, these are epic. They're going to be so menacing going forward into these new movies or whatever we're going to get. The power and what they can do. Like, first of all, they can bring back my queen, Asajj Ventress, because please, she's buried on Dathomir. That's where they are right now. So bring her back, please, because I want her in live action. Mother Talzah can come back. We could probably get Savage Opress. Like, imagine all of these people come back and we get to the crescendo Star Wars Endgame style, and it's all of our loved characters in the Star Wars that we've known come back. And I think the sisters have a core connection to that.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make at least a trilogy, aren't they, by this point? Because they're introducing so many different arcs and areas that it's just gonna feel dead rushed if it's in one film, isn't it? So far it's just a Filoni Mandoverse, but just the amount
always
of
go to Tatooine. Just saying, go to Tatooine and dig up my old friend.
They will go to Tatooine. It's Disney Plus. They've been going there every other month for some show or another. Yeah. So, we've got someone else down below that has just got in. So we'll add him in.
Oh, not yet. I'm still setting up. But
all right. Do one. See you in a bit. Typical Spurs fan.
Oh, don't get me started on Spurs. Jesus Christ.
Okay then. So Ryan, what do you think, Mr. Owembuwe, about these three?
Do you know what? I'm gonna get on my soapbox a bit here. Ezra was slow to warm to me. When I first saw him, I was like, But then when I saw what the actor was saying, I agree with Milky. I'm not entirely sure about the aesthetic, but again, he's been there for a while. It's interesting how he's got the Stormtrooper tags. I thought they were going to start to reference, particularly like Rebels, how Ezra's shown to have a bit of a darker side. He was the apprentice to Maul. He's wearing, as trophies, all the Stormtroopers he's killed. And then they didn't seem to showcase that he's been stranded on his own for 10 years with hermit crabs. And he's, completely on his own, and he's not got these dark tendencies. He's not, he's kept the same as Rebels. I think the actor again did a phenomenal job. I think the way he speaks, particularly, he follows. You watch Rebels and you watch him. He actually almost follows the exact same speech patterns as they would.
The way his tone goes up and down. That's what
his tone, his pace of speech. He does brilliantly there. I just think it was interesting, again, director-writer choice, not to, I'm wearing the enemies I have murdered. Hi, lovely to see you. I'm the same. It's just a bit off. Thrawn, I'm going to get on my soapbox a bit here. I think the actor was phenomenal. I wasn't a fan of the writing. Thrawn in Legends, particularly, and even in Rebels a bit. In Legends, he is a strategic genius. The guy is Erwin Rommel. He is ridiculously intelligent. He takes on a buzz droid, for example, when trying to take over a ship. He has contingency plans for contingency plans. He's always ready to go. And something else that shines through with this is in the Thrawn series, for example. There's a ship that's been taken over by pirates. Or I'll use a different example. There's a city that's been taken over. It's a mining city that's been taken over by rebels. And the Empire basically goes, let's orbital bombard it. And Thrawn's like, well, no, that's going to incur civilian casualties and hostages. We do this the proper way. We keep those people alive. And there's another example where someone says, like, oh, you're going to kill me. And he goes, I never waste a good resource. Or we could just throw 2 squads of stormtroopers, make sure they get out the shuttles. Let's not send TIE fighters at the same time. Let's just go 2 squads of stormtroopers, off you go. They die. Oh, acceptable losses. This is the guy, that he's always 2 steps ahead. I know Ahsoka's supposed to be this, but he's the type of guy, he wouldn't send his troops out. He'd go, right, oh, by the way, Sabine, Ezra might be over there here. We know that we've got raiders who deploy the lands. Let's strap a beacon to her so all raiders know exactly where she is. Let them deal with it. We keep our troops safe. Again, you see that in Rebels when Ezra goes, oh, I've locked all your troops in here. And he goes, it's fine by me. I'm not going to have Imperial casualties. He's a leader who values his troops. He's always resource and efficiency based. So to suddenly, send out 2 squads of stormtroopers, send them out the shuttles, they die, and he's like, oh, well, acceptable losses. And then send 2 TIE fighters separately. I think the actor's phenomenal. I think the voice is phenomenal. I think he did a brilliant job. I just don't think, for me personally, they really represented Thrawn being 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead. Oh, I was just delaying them. That's not Thrawn. That's a cop-out. It's almost, oh, look, I've been intelligent when I've not been intelligent.
Yeah, I agree. I found that especially with the Morgan Elsbeth thing. With Rook in Rebels, he protected Rook like it was, like he was his son. Like he values every asset he's got. Morgan Elsbeth has literally gone to another galaxy to bring them back, and he's just like, oh, you know what's got to be done. Sin a bit. Good luck. Bye.
Yeah, literally.
He wouldn't do that, in my opinion.
It's a valuable resource. He wouldn't be like, oh yeah, get rid of it or slow them down. Like you get shuttles you get the TIE fighters to surround the panel and go, I'll take Morgan with me. TIE fighters are expendable. She is not now. What do you value? 2 TIE fighters versus a new Night Mother Talzin like person. It just doesn't really. And again, particularly with Thrawn, they always incur losses. We see it with Lethal. There's always a purpose and a reason. He doesn't waste. He is wickedly intelligent. It's why he's outside in Star Wars one of my top 3 characters with Cad Bane. And the actor did it, the voice did it, the writers didn't for me. They didn't portray his cunning, strategic mind well enough. He's playing drafts, not 3D chess, which he's playing well. The Night Sisters, I think really interesting characters. Excited to see more. I never considered Asajj Ventress a press coming back, and I think that's genius. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, he's playing like Howard Wolowitz and not Sheldon Cooper, isn't he?
Yeah, and I know people saying about getting Benedict Cumberbatch because again he's chess. He's supposed to be in lean physical condition, and I'm like, why is Elon Musk turned up? But at the same time, the actor's brilliant, and he sold me. His
voice is the best thing about it.
It is, yeah, exactly.
So well delivered.
I was so willing to accept that, but the writers did not do it, particularly because he's one of my favorite characters. Not enough depth, particularly from a strategic perspective.
Throughout the weeks, me and Milky have continuously said it every time he's popped up, that every time he says anything, both just get chills.
Yeah.
Just the way he delivers lines is so cold and like he's so softly spoken, but you feel everything he says, and it proper gives you the like menacing creeps.
And he does bring the animated part of him to life, like, because of course in the animation you can keep him deadpan. He does little micro expressions, like when he finds out who Ahsoka is, that I loved, because you bring just that little bit of reality to him. So I love the actor was incredible. Actor is brilliant. It's just the writing for me.
Yeah, as Corey's just said, you need Lars's voice for Thrawn. That is for sure. Absolutely. If it was someone else, it just couldn't be done. Could not be done for me.
Also appreciate the One Piece reference.
We do have a special little shout out, just a brief one to talk about these 3. We can go into further detail about Hayden shortly, but what did you both think about these 3? Oh, actually, just before we get your thoughts, we've got this bloke still sat in the background chilling, so we'll add him in. I hope so. Gonna get a thumbs up if you are ready.
I just bring him in. It's more fun.
Twat.
I was enjoying this. Sitting back, no pressure.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Go on, mate. You're the host.
Yeah. So, how have you been, sir? How has work been?
Oh, chaos, but we don't need to discuss work. I'm here now.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
what I was going to ask you guys was about the image of Thrawn. Like, in the Rebels, he's got a lot more of a skinnier, narrow face. Did you feel that it was necessary for live action, or was you happy with it? Just the makeup.
They added the features of the sort of dents above his eyes that you can see, and they've added those sort of features. But there's not a lot you can do with someone's head, is there? Without it looking,
he looks visually
without it
perfected,
looking
doesn't he?
stupid.
Yeah, again, I know a lot of people reference Benedict Cumberbatch for the build and the shape of the jaw, but you couldn't do it without Lars's voice, so it's a compromise.
And what did we all think about the episode 5 sequence with the Clone Wars and the little flashback, and then sort of in a dream state where they're all in it? What do we all think about this sequence? So, we'll start with you, seeing as you've just dropped in.
Well, I've watched all these episodes once, so it's going to be a different opinion to you lot because I can only remember what I saw the first time watching. I think that was one of the episodes I watched when it came out at like 2 a.m. as well. I think we watched that late on. Yeah, but definitely one of my favorite ones. I loved Anakin with in the Clone Wars outfit and the hair. It felt quite surreal because I've only known Hayden Christensen Anakin with the long hair. Really, I know he had the Attack of the Clones with the little Padawan braid. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the episode, and I know Milky's mentioned it already about Rosario Dawson, and with this young Ahsoka, I just related to it a lot more. I found the young Ahsoka a lot more enjoyable, and I think I would prefer to see like a younger Ahsoka series. Just the Rosario Dawson, I'm not saying she's not a great Ahsoka, just not as invested as I was with the younger Ahsoka. But love the episode, and what's the world she falls into?
World Between Worlds.
Yeah, I love that as well. I'd only recently watched Rebels, and I loved that. I actually understood that reference and what was actually happening. Otherwise, I wouldn't not have had a clue what was going on. But yeah, I can't decide that was my favorite episode, but definitely in the top 2. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The young Ahsoka, she's brilliant, and just there's so many different parts of the series where they've done little things really well that makes you want more of all of it. So it leaves Star Wars in a really good place, and lovely money maker for Disney. Just give Dave the keys, let him at it. Milky, what did you think of these 3 and that little sequence, and how well all 3 were portrayed?
Rex almost brought a tear to my eye seeing him. It was epic. Like I literally just come off like 2 or 3 months ago off the Rebels reaction videos because we binged them just to catch up with Ahsoka on time. You know, I thank Headless for that because he managed it so that we could do it weekly and have enough episodes. But it was fantastic, dude. Episodes 5 and 6 for me, hands down, are the best episodic episodes Disney Star Wars have ever created, ever. And Ahsoka, I would go out on a limb and say, is the best series that Disney have ever created. So, you know, they have on two golden eggs there that they can go with. I want live action Clone Wars. I need it. I don't know how we're going to get it. I don't know if it's even possible, but I want it because it's so good. Hayden Christensen, if that's how you say his name, is epic. He just comes back and he's the same Anakin that we grew up as kids, and it's crazy, you know, because we watch all of these other actors that we remember as kids, and they're completely different when they're older. But this guy is like Tom Cruise. He just doesn't seem to age. You know, it was epic. Loved it, every bit of it. And the younger Ahsoka is making me want to have literally live action Clone Wars.
It's mad to think in it that it's 2023. He filmed in 2001, 2000 for the Attack of the Clones, and then 2002 to 3 they filmed Revenge of the Sith. It's mental, isn't it? 21, 22 years ago. Doesn't look any different, does it?
No. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it is mad. Definitely better skincare than me. That's all I know. Should have asked him. Wembley, what did you think then? I know you're a massive Clone Wars fan and a huge Rex fan.
This was, with Milky, shed a tear for Rex. This was just awesome. I'm pretty sure we saw Jesse. I was looking for, because we saw the phase ones, we saw the lieutenants, the captains. My favorite Clone Wars arc is the Umbara arc. I think that's class. And just seeing, I think it was Jesse in the background with his ARC trooper helmet where it's blue with the Republic crest in white. I just thought it was awesome. I rewatched those 4 minutes of footage over and over again, pleaded, like Milky said, for a live action Clone Wars. It was just incredible. The ATSTs, it looked like it was on Geonosis. The trooper, brilliant. Just that whole thing was just everything I've ever wanted. Just sell it, do it, get the 212 in, get 187 in with Plo Koon, get all the battalions in, get Wolf, get them all. We might have to find, depending on Morrison, someone to play younger clones again. But this was brilliant. And again, young Ahsoka. This was my favorite bit of the show. It was just brilliant.
Yeah.
But you can't do live action Clone Wars if you haven't got Hondo. Hondo has to be in the live action.
I smell profit.
They just get the animatronic from the Disney parks of him. They just use that.
Hondo.
Yeah, totally agree. Oh, I love Rex. So even just that little cameo. See, that's fan service done right for me. It makes sense in that moment, and it makes sense for the show. Seeing C-3PO.
No.
Does it make sense for a prequel show? I mean,
it was a cop-out.
It was.
That shot as well, when Anakin's walking with all the clones by his side, little flash turns to Vader, no clone. Just
It's one of the best shots in Star Wars. Flat
Star Wars
flat out. Yeah. And when he comes back out onto the bridge and it flashes and he gives that shoulder shrug like I'm about to go up. You know what I mean? He just. Yeah.
His voice alters just slightly as he goes, "You lack conviction."
Yes. Right, let's move on then. So just before we move on to another section, oh no, maybe not. So let's go straight in to the things we liked about the series as a whole. So we will start with Milky this time. What did you like about the series?
First thing that comes to mind is the Dave Filoni. He was the main thing that got me in loving it. And yeah, just the whole mystical aspect and bringing magic into the Star Wars world and the canon and, explaining it as best they can. The whole world between world is just amazing and, epic. I love not so much all of the choreography with the lightsabers. I feel like Nick Gillard, definitely you can tell he wasn't involved in the choreography because he did the prequels. But I liked the style that they were using, especially Balin. It was very broadsword-esque, very, knights, and I like that kind of stuff. No flippy dippy doodah kind of crap,
So fighting like the Hound, I thought.
Yeah, exactly. Game of Thrones. Yeah, I'm a massive Game of Thrones fan, so if anything can correlate with that, then I'm loving it. What else did I absolutely love about it? I liked Thrawn's ship. I liked how it was detailed and how it looked. And yeah, I'm pretty much on the spot right now, so everything's blurry. What I enjoyed. I enjoyed it all. I literally just called it the best Star Wars show that they've ever created for Disney. So.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Overall wise, I think I love The Mandalorian. It's quite easy to look back on The Mandalorian with rose tinted glasses at a series, but when you wait a week for an episode and you get like Frog Lady, or you get the Mandalorian for me, I saw a TikTok a few months ago and it sums it up brilliantly. I think that it's like they'll be somewhere, they've got to a planet, they're chilling for 2 minutes, and then Grogu will have a drink, run out of milk, and they'll go, "Oh no, we've run out of milk. We better go find some on a new planet." But that sort of thing, and then they just have a random filler. Yeah, go Lizzo. That black. Yeah, totally. What did you like about the series from what you can recollect?
Yeah, well, I was going to butt in, but I wanted to let Milky speak. But first of all, I love the shot. The image you've chose is brilliant. That's a quality shot. But for me, I know you've just mentioned Mandalorian, and I always enjoy the pilot episodes for all new series. Like the first episode of Mando is brilliant, and then same for Ahsoka, because you just get a feel of what's to come. It teases you a bit, and then yeah, you get the anticipation of every episode. So I love the pilot episode. You don't get too much. And yeah, I think one of my favorite scenes was actually in episode 1. Was it with Balin and is it Jin? Shin, when she says when they almost pretend to be Jedi to board the ship.
Oh, their introduction, yeah.
Yeah, I love
Off the ship.
I
We
love
are no
that.
Jedi.
You knew something was wrong, and you kind of wanted something to be wrong, and yeah, that was a great introduction for him. Things we liked. I think might be a bit controversial, but I thought Anakin Skywalker, when he was more holograms or like a Force Ghost, I felt like that come off better. I love one of my favorite scenes was Anakin training Ahsoka, and Anakin was like the hologram and all the talking, and that felt like very surreal, and that felt like that scene could have been in Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith, whatever it would have been. I feel like that clip literally could have been from another film, but yeah, I feel like they used Hayden Christensen just enough. I didn't want them to overkill it, so the use of Hayden Christensen, I feel like that was enough. And like I said, I don't know what's to come from after what comes next with Star Wars, but the best thing about like the show is like the theories and all the speculation we're all gonna like talk about now. So yeah, I like how they've left it quite open for us as fans. So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
The scene sorry, Joe.
Sorry,
the scene
carry on.
the scene you're referencing right there, Tal, with the hologram is actually in Clone Wars. Anakin teaches Ahsoka the Form 4 stance and the fighting style in Clone Wars, and it was literally dragged straight out.
Yeah,
it was one of the tapes. Yeah.
Have you seen Tales of the Jedi?
Yeah.
The little mini cartoon. Yeah, that training scene with the hologram reminded me of the episode of Ahsoka where he's training her to fight the clones. That same sort of correlation. Very stern, stood straight, very teacher-esque. Yeah, fantastic. Just before we get on to you, Wembley, I'll just go through the chat. So Corey said, I absolutely love young Ahsoka. She was amazing. Hopefully we'll see more in the future. Yeah, I think everybody I've spoke to about Ahsoka is all on the same page with her representation. It was fantastic. So yeah, hopefully we do. I think they'd be stupid not to because everyone's asked for it. And Corey's also said, I just love Balin, especially his scenes of Shin and his fight scenes of Ahsoka. So cool. Yeah, the presence on screen is just brilliant. It's not often you see a new character when you're waiting for a series that's so anticipated. I mean, people that are fan of the Clone Wars have been waiting for an Ahsoka live action for 15 years now. And for Balin to take the spotlight is really, really impressive. It just shows how good not just the writing is of the character, but obviously the portrayal. And Jack has popped in. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you for dropping in. Got fun and games shortly. So
did you know that the day of the finale episode dropping was I believe 15-year anniversary of Clone Wars and the 9-year anniversary of Rebels?
Yeah, really cool.
9 years since the last episode of Rebels.
No, since the start, since the inaugural, since Rebels started, it was a 9-year anniversary on the day of the finale for Ahsoka.
Yeah,
nice.
Disney listening. And what about you, Owembe? What did you like about this series? What were your favorite bits of it that you will take away?
I've already raved about Clone Wars live action. Needs to happen. Just do it. Just do it already. But I love that aspect. I love that they're starting to reincorporate legends now. It seems, we're talking about Abeloth again. We're talking about other aspects. It looks like they're trying to integrate legends into Star Wars, and again, maybe we're going to get some Knights of the Old Republic as well. So
yes,
go to that area of Star Wars that's not really been explored yet. They screwed up going forward a bit, so let's try not screwing up going backward. Yeah, I think my favorite thing I've seen on Ahsoka, which sums it up for me, because I must admit there is one other Star Wars series that holds such a close place to my heart, and I think is my personal favorite, which is Andor. And the best way I saw it was Ahsoka is the best Star Wars on its bets when it's mystical, it's Jedi, it's force wielding, and Andor is the best representation of Star Wars when you get the real, very much real world. There's no Jedi, it's rebellion, it's war.
Grit.
Grit.
Political.
Proper, dark, political, Andor was just and Andor came out of nowhere. And again, ironically, my favorite Star Wars film is Rogue One. So I think Ahsoka, for the mystical aspect and all that, I think they did really well. Yeah. Clone Wars robbed it for me. Just live action Clone Wars. Seeing my boy Rex. My heart.
Can't help but smile when you mention those two words together, can you?
You can't, can you? I mean, as well, because I think they did him just right as well. I mean, I have my reservations about Cad Bane in Book of Boba Fett, and again, I've expressed my reservations, not regarding the actor. He was incredible. Mickelson was incredible, but the writing of Thrawn, I hope that they... But something I'm hopeful for is, now that he's back in the galaxy that we know, and it looks like they're going to either run with the Legends comics of how Thrawn tries to rebuild the Republic, or they're going to go with the Empire at War Games. But even so, there's so much source material there of just how clever Thrawn is, because what he is supposed to do now is, the Empire is scattered, and essentially what you see is the New Republic and the Empire switch roles, where the Empire take on the Rebels' tactics of doing hit and run, taking their ships and all that, and the New Republic have to try and operate like the Empire and try and, quell rebellion. So it'll be interesting to see it flip with Thrawn if they do it right.
Yeah, I hope they do. They've got so much potential to do it, and I trust Dave. It's not like it's Kathleen at the wheel, is
Dave,
it?
we trust.
Exactly that. And then to swing it the other way around, things we dislike.
That's so accurate. So accurate.
Things that we dislike.
Just do that. Just move it to the left or move it to the right. Just a smidge.
Yeah, I did have some circles on screen that I have removed just to show where her organs that would kill her are, and ironically, it's exactly where she's stabbed. But there you go. All three of you then just pitch in the bits that you do not like. So, Milky, you start, and then we'll start a debate of whether people liked it or didn't like it.
Lack of just like I said with Hera, she does wrong and she doesn't get punished for it. So just no consequences for anyone's actions, and lightsabers seem to have been completely nerfed. Like Wembley was saying earlier, that the zombies were getting attacked, but they, slice off its head. It's not going to grow another one, That's what you do with those kind of weapons. But they just, I think that they downplayed lightsabers a lot, especially when they just introduced a brand new color with Shin and Balin's, and they were probably the two badass users of it. It was epic when she got stabbed at the first. I was literally like, oh my god, they're going with this, and then back to Tank episode 2, bring her back. Oh god.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see whether they split that for a week, wouldn't it? And you just think, oh, is she actually dead?
Yeah.
But literally, the fact they brought both episodes out and back to back in the end, and you're like, oh, so she's just chilling in hospital. It was a bit like when Guardians of Galaxy 3, when people on the verge of death stick a med pack on them in a minute, they're all right. That's what it felt like to me. Like no consequence to getting absolutely destroyed. What about you, Wembley? What did you not like about the series? I know you've already mentioned Thrawn and how they've written him.
I'm with Milky here. There's no consequence in the sense that, first of all, I'm just going to quickly bring this up because we said about the Wi-Fi earlier with the Night Mothers. Marek, the guy gets sliced and we see green gas. Suddenly it doesn't work with the stormtroopers. What? But going back to consequence, I mean, Sabine gets stabbed. She's fine the next episode. It's like... Again, like Thrawn took out Kanan. Thrawn put Lothal under his foot, and suddenly, he can't deal with the three of them. It's you get a victory. When they defeated Thrawn, they lost Ezra. There was always a price to pay, and there's none of that there. Hera's, as Milky said, she's gone against the New Republic, and when this was a chance to show how they've just become too much like the Empire already. C-3PO walks in like the new Jar Jar Binks, and it's like, oh, here we go again. And again, I think the other thing is saying about the arms and that. I think something that's a bit weird is, we saw the head of a dark trooper come off, but we didn't see any limbs of stormtroopers come off. And it's this notion. I don't think Disney always knows what it's doing with Star Wars in terms of grit, because it's like, oh, we can't chop off arms, we can't do this. It's kids. And in Andor, we had torture scenes where this woman's listening to a sound that's driving her mentally insane, and we see her after that like shriveling up in the corner, scared of everything. We went that dark in Andor, and yet we can't see the lightsabers are suddenly like Fallen Order. You hit a frog and it's just got a mark, and you're like, oh, it's a bat apparently now.
Yeah, they
Cool.
disappeared. When Ezra starts slicing the doors as they're running away, that reminded me of Fallen Order. It looks like when you're just using a lightsaber on the aesthetics during a game, and it just makes a little mark instead of cutting anything.
Yeah.
It is weird, Disney, like that. What about you, then, Tel? What are the bits that you dislike that come straight to mind?
On top of what Wembo was saying about it not being very dark, I immediately was drawn to Kenobi, and when Raver chopped off someone's hand and that was quite dark. So yeah, I suppose it wasn't as dark this series, but I think Ryan's touched on it. Something that they didn't do. I feel like there wasn't enough tension because everything was resolved in the next episode. I would have liked an episode completely separate from, unrelated to the previous episode. They've done it with Walking Dead and stuff, and I think even Game of Thrones, where they focused on just one character. But yeah, I just feel like everything was resolved a bit too quickly, and you kind of didn't have to have that urge of, oh, I can't wait till we find out what happens to this person, because you already find out what happens the following week. So yeah, I would have preferred an episode with just a specific character other than Ahsoka. So even if it was Balin, just him having a solo episode or something, or Thrawn, an episode just with Thrawn, that would have been pretty cool. But yeah,
I mean, how Thrawn and Ezra, they ended up on the same ship at the end of Rebels together. How did they go their separate ways? How did they not kill each other? How did Ezra go, you know what? Or did they just go, all right, we're here now. All right.
Chill out with some snails in a bit.
Cheers, I'm going to go find some crabs. All right. I think,
see you in a bit.
I think coming on to it, actually, I think something for me is, just come to my head then as Tel was talking, is that sense of Star Wars always not hopelessness, but it's always you're defying the odds. You know, the rebellion takes on the Empire. The first three films, you've got the whole political scene with Palpatine. Like, you know what's going to happen. There's always this sense of dread coming. Like, you know it's hopeless odds. Sabine got stabbed. Stick a plaster on it. I'm good. You know, Thrawn suddenly hit. The Night Sisters have given you magic. I've slashed her with my lightsaber. Oh, that's right. She's dead now. There's never that time of tension and feeling of that it was safe. It was too safe. Andor, you did not know what was going to happen. People died. You had that sense of this is going to go bad. They didn't do that. It was too safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Sabine in episode 2, when she obviously gets hit with the lightsaber. I think episode 3, within the first 10 minutes, you find out that she's okay. When it could have been the cliffhanger of episode 3 that she wakes up, and then you're like, oh, she's alive, and then you find out what happens in episode 4. But it just got resolved like literally at the beginning of the episode. So
they should have given an episode to see whether, and they should have made it out like she is properly in the mud, and she's on death's door. But it was literally like, oh, this is going to be a cliffhanger. The first thing you see is that she's okay.
Yeah. All
right. Okay.
Same with Ahsoka going over the cliff. Like the next episode where she was in the world between worlds, they could have put it back an episode. You know, have no Ahsoka for the episode after she went over the cliff, and then we would have been thinking about, well, where's Ahsoka? Did she actually die?
Building tension.
And that's the same angle that happened to Qui-Gon, and he's dead.
He was very dead. Yeah. And they make it out like it's they make excuses, Disney, don't they? And they say, oh yeah, but there's been time before. There's been loads of medical advancements. But you make it out like the Republic's been the same for like 2,000 years or something. And apparently there's been huge advancements in like 30. Not even that. So yeah, they're sort of my nitpicks. Right, we're going to move on because the live is absolutely flying by. So we'll have a quick move on. What is next for Star Wars and leading on from this series? So we got some very, very good scenery at the end of this, where Balin stood on the hand of the father. Obviously, you've got the son stood to his left, and the daughter with the missing head on the right, which is pretty interesting, seeing that Ahsoka is on the planet. And then he looks out into the distance, and you can see what looks like the Sanctuary of Mortis. So whether it actually is where the Mortis gods originate from, or my theory is that someone's locked away over there. I'd love to hear what you three think. I know Tel's going to struggle with this one because he's not really watched Clone Wars, or if he has, it was a big binge.
It looks like Mordor.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
You got this right. Yeah.
He's in Gondor. So yeah, where do you think Star Wars is going then after the Ahsoka series? We'll start with a Wembley.
So I'm intrigued because I've also heard the rumors of the Acolyte and some of the things going around the Acolyte, the talks, but that's a discussion for another time. Again, I think we're going to see more legends. For those who are unaware, look up Abeloth. There is a big tie here to the father, the son, and the daughter. I think that's a really interesting tie, and I think that they could almost lead to the end game thing where if Abeloth becomes the true bad guy, and I don't know if we see Dathomir side with her to bring down Force users, you can almost see the New Republic and what's left of the Empire combine in an Avengers style to fight off this massive threat that the galaxy has been witnessing. Possibly, I'm not sure. I'm hopeful. Again, Clone Wars, do it. But yeah, I think from what I've heard from Milky's, I think he's got more ideas than me on this point. I'm not sure entirely yet.
I don't know if I have more ideas. I'm super excited. So you mentioned your favorite arc in Clone Wars was what? Sorry,
the Umbara arc where Krell says they're all worthless. They're just numbers, and basically commits mass murder to his own people, to the clones, and the clones turn on the Jedi. And it's the whole soldier versus programming.
Yeah, I remember. So mine's Altar of Mortis.
Yeah.
So that's where it ties into all of this stuff. So for me, this is going to be insane. Maybe on joking side, Disney can buy Lord of the Rings, and what we're seeing in the background is actually Mordor. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, in all seriousness, I like that we saw, is it Morai, the owl? Because that is the essence of the daughter, and she was in this episode in the finale, which was really cool. So technically, the daughter is on this island, on this planet, which was epic. I just don't know where we're going with it. I think, spoilers, I know if we're an hour and 7 minutes in, but I think Balin wants to be the father. I think he wants to be the one in the middle. If it's moving away from my Bendu theory that I was hoping it was going to be, then yeah, I think he's going to be in the middle, not light, not dark. It's going to personify the whole Force in its whole embodiment, and I think he will become the living force of the father.
Do you think he's being called towards something, or he knows what he's after? I
think he knows exactly what he's after.
Do you? That's interesting. I think he's just being called, and he's being lured there by Abeloth now. My sort of, I don't know what to think. There's so many avenues that it could be that it's quite a nice position to be in for Star Wars that I'm quite happy to sit back and wait. I feel like the end of Rebels, where you're just like, they can take it in loads of directions now. Just want it to be now.
If Kennedy has her way, he'll turn up to that building and it'll just be Snoke in a chair. And we'll be like, oh, for God's sake!
Don't diss Andy Serkis unless he becomes a member of the cancelled Con Society in the next couple of days. What about you, Tel? What do you think is going to be next, or what are you looking forward to next?
I don't want to keep distracting away from Ahsoka, but I feel just with Star Wars as a whole, there's a lot of questions to be answered with, like the Mandalorian and Grogu. I think in the Mandalorian it was to do with cloning, wasn't it, towards the end? And I think
clones, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of things in Star Wars to come next. So we don't actually know. Well, I'm not sure what actually the next projects are going to be. I know there is Acolyte, and I think there's something else coming.
Skeleton Crew, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. So I don't actually know like the long-term plan for the next 10 years, but I know like the amount of avenues there is for Ahsoka, and like we can say the same. I think there's some rumors of another Book of Boba Fett as well. So there's so many avenues left open now. I know there's a new Rey film, a film with Rey coming with the Jedi Temple or something, where she rebuilds the Jedi Order. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many ways that they can bring it. Let's just bring up Corey's message. I has neglected him for 5 to 10 minutes. So Corey said, agree with the picture on screen previously of what disliked. Sabine should definitely have been more injured. She got out of the hospital very quickly. Yeah, that's something they don't really clear up. They mention rotations here and there, which is obviously days. But with stuff like that, you'd quite like to hear that it had been a substantial amount of time, because to the viewer, it looks like a day or less. Yeah. It's like she's just been healed.
just thinking about it as well, Asajj Ventress like impaling a clone, like Anakin's hand chopped off, Qui-Gon. Has anyone ever been survived just being stabbed by a lightsaber before Sabine? Can anyone think of any time that someone
Reaver.
got...
Yeah, Raver's my.
Twice.
Does that...
Yeah, once
does that
when
count?
she was
Yeah.
when she was basically the size of a lightsaber, it would have literally taken out her whole sternum.
Oh yeah, as a youngling, yeah.
Yeah. You just get Anakin's like POV face right in front of her, just fully stabbing her, and just ridiculous.
Yeah, you've got a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, just two Disney in it. It's two Disney things and two survivals of something very unrealistic. But hey ho, right, we shall move on. Got a quiz for you three.
Great.
Put that image because I know that Milky dreads quizzes and fun and games. He never knows what to expect. I think this should be pretty easy in fairness. So the way it's going to work. The first round, you have 3 questions. You all answer them individually, and you get a point per question. So that's the first round. If you can all click private chat, please, in StreamYard, so you do not see the chat, and the chat can obviously answer freely. I'll give you about a minute. I'll say about a minute because they're not too bad. Might be hard for Tal.
I'm struggling.
I know 2 and 3. I don't know.
Yeah,
Number
I'm
1.
exactly the same. I could do 2 and 3. 1, I'm like,
Ooh, really?
yeah. I could do 2 and 3 immediately. I can't do 1. I'm just puzzled.
I like all your expressions now. All properly perplexed.
No, I've got Indiana Jones stuck in my head with the freaking Ark of the Covenant when I'm trying to think of the temple. I'm like, that's the Egyptians, isn't it?
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me if Disney just allowed
the Ark of the Covenant rocks out.
Allowed a Nazi to just show up.
Old Harrison Ford comes out with the hat.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you about another half a minute or so, because if we've not had anybody in the chat say anything yet. Corey says, "Oh God, tough questions." I didn't think they were that bad. They all get mentioned in the program.
Have you got a picture of the temple? I can't remember.
I do not. Just know the answer because it is said in the.
I'm sure
in the
it
show.
is. I'm trying to think of all the religions in Star Wars now.
My mind just goes to the temple that they go to get the Sith holocron. I can't think of the name of it.
Well,
I don't know
in
if that's
Rebels
what it's
itself, in Malachor. It's not Malachor.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where I was going to. Yeah. Now I'm completely blank.
Right, I'll start taking answers. So I'll start taking answers. So if anyone wants to say what they think for any of them, I'm all ears. No cheating.
Go on, Milky. You can do. Well, Tel, do you have one as well? Tel, do you have one?
Oh, yeah, Tel, you go
I've
first
got
because you've probably got none.
I don't know if they're right. Yeah, but I'll go for an answers.
Yeah.
Go on, Tel.
Oh no, but I was just going to say Jedi Temple, but I don't know.
Nope.
That's all I got.
Number
It
2.
was
you got
on
one to say?
Ryloth. She was on Ryloth, wasn't she? Not Ryloth. No, she wasn't.
No, she was on Lothal.
Lothal,
She was
yeah.
on the foe. That is
And her
one for.
pets are Lothcats?
Yeah.
No? Yeah, Lothcats.
That is correct.
The
So what,
religion.
did you have any of them? Tel?
I had in my head soft cat, SOTH. I couldn't
Yeah,
think
well,
of
they
that.
look soft. Yeah.
Soft,
Soft.
kitty. warm kitty.
Yeah, I knew it was a soft cat. Wouldn't have got number 2. Not a chance.
So did you get the temple? Anyone got the temple?
No.
No.
It was a Night Sister temple. Morgan Elsbeth says in this episode 2 that she she listened to her instructions and went to the temple of her religion, and that's when you find out that she is a Night Sister.
Oh, I was just thinking it was I didn't even clock Dathomir. I didn't
Those-
even clock it was that. Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know what planet it was on, but she does say that it was a Night Sister temple. It was just on another planet.
I thought she was just chilling
So-
in sleep, and they were going, "Go here."
Moving on to round 2, then. So round 2
Don't say name
is
What?
this one. You can work together, so you
What
can
in
all
the
speak out
Hunger
loud.
Games is Snow
You
doing
can all
there?
speak. You can all speak out loud. So you need to tell me one. Have they not been in any animation,
Mhm.
and you get a bonus point. But if you can tell me their names, and obviously you got to get it right, because they might not have been in animation. They might have been. They might have not. If you get a name, well done to you. If you say it first, you get the point. But you can all
First
work
one,
together,
yeah.
because I appreciate that some might find it hard. I genuinely thought Milky and Wembley would be all right here, because
The first
Oh,
one
yeah.
has, isn't he? The first one has.
What, you know who?
Yeah, 100%. I've seen the image.
Well,
Can't say anything.
go on, tell us the second character.
Morgan.
Hey,
I already
we
knew that from like watching the live.
the
has
fourth
she been
one,
in it?
has she been animated? I don't think she has, off the top of my head. I can't recall in Clone Wars or Rebels, unless she turns up in Tale of the Jedi. I can't recall her turning up. She was in Mandalorian, obviously, with the staff, and that was the first I thought we saw of her. Unless there's unless she's as a child on Dathomir in the Clone Wars arc, I don't recall her.
Yeah, I don't think
Got
she's
you.
been animated.
What you all thinking? So I'll give you an extra point. 1 if you can say it's animation, and 2 if you can tell me what animation they were in. So the first one, Tell seems to have an inkling that he knows where he's from. But
Yeah.
do you know where? What
Do you know
animation it would be in?
Pretty. I'm about 70% sure it's Rebels.
I can tell you that is correct.
Yeah.
Hey,
Do some
Well done.
points.
nice.
Anyone know his name? No one in
No.
the chat's got it.
You're
His name is no. He was Asadi, Senator Asadi. So he was like the ruler, Ryder. They called him. He was the. He was sort of the leader. He was the leader of the
Ryder,
rebellion.
yeah.
On
Is that
Lothal.
Ryder?
Yeah, same voice, same actor.
Is it? I never realised. I recognise Ryder in Rebels, but he was a lot more big and imposing when he's on the speeder bike and stuff, rescuing Ezra from the AT-AT.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same. It is the same.
Is it?
The same
I didn't
actor
even-
who does the voice. Yeah, and he's
I
also,
didn't-
if anyone's seen, I assume you've seen Shawshank Redemption. He is the. He's the copper, the prison officer in Shawshank, the one that
Oh, so he is.
gives him the beer on the roof.
Yeah, when he does his tax for him.
Yeah, so that's an amazing scene.
I didn't realise that was Ryder. That's yeah.
So Morgan, has Morgan been in anything?
Don't think she's been animated.
I don't think so. Either.
She has not. She has not been in nothing. So that was a little tricky one. Number 3. Do you know who number 3 is, or what they've been in, or if they've been in anything?
No, don't even know who it is.
I thought that was a Mash Attacks card.
What?
No, joking. I have no idea. I don't even recall who that person is.
I thought it was Blue Beetle graduating, but
So I'll reveal it afterwards if none of you know what it is.
No,
But
not
Nope.
foggy.
you probably a couple of you would be like, oh right. There has been a lot of stuff online where there've been the comparisons between both.
Is
If
he
they
like
have,
one of Ezra's friends on Lothal or something? He's one of Ezra's friends in early
Might-
Rebels on Lothal.
he might have been. He might have been. But we should find out. And the last one, the senator that everybody hates.
Chuki?
I think he has been in. Yeah, is it his son or his father? He's in it. Is what is in?
Yeah, he's in. Yeah, I think is it Senator Chuki? Something like that. Senator
I
Chuchi.
think so.
Is it Chiono or something like that?
Yeah.
That's
but,
what his name is.
right.
And yes, he has been in animation. But can you tell me what?
I got a feeling he's in Clone Wars. I don't know why. I got a feeling he's like. Wait, hold on. Is it? Oh no, or is it Bad Batch? No.
Visions.
I'll give you 20 seconds.
You think he's in Visions, do you tell?
I'm just naming another animated one, but
It's the best. It's the best policy. Just name something. I can tell you you're all wrong so far.
So he's not in Visions. He's not Tale of the Jedi. Just start naming animation now.
Not until
No, I can't think of the name of the. I can't think of the animation.
I'll give you 5 seconds.
The anime starred one. No, that's Visions.
Rebels, Clone Wars, Visions, Tales of the Jedi, Bad Batch.
Last answers.
No.
Is he in a video game?
Oh,
No. So
that'd be a good shout.
I will show you now. So the first one
That's
is Ryder
Wait,
Sardi. He is in Rebels. The third one,
Oh,
it's a bad picture. The third one, he is Jai Kell. So he was in the Imperial Academy with Ezra, and his name is mentioned in Ahsoka during it. They do introduce him in episode 1, so that's why I've put him in. It's not super obscure. It's just one of those Easter eggs. And the fourth one, I've put him in because I have mentioned it in previous videos and streams. He is in Star Wars Resistance. So this is set in the future.
Oh, right.
And he's a senator still in that. He's the main character's dad in Star Wars Resistance.
You don't look Korean in anime.
No, his hair looks blue in that as well. So maybe it's just the animation thing. Yeah, the chat have been struggling with them as well. I do apologise, but yeah, I'll make them easier in future. I thought we had nerds in the lobby, but just
It's the
When do I ever do well on games? When
You
do
got a glow up in the third
Well,
picture, didn't you? What they do
now-
there?
now is your chance to do well on games, fellas. So round 3, the chat is getting involved. So you 3 have to do nothing. So we will go with the person who has the least points. If people in the chat want to play, please nominate yourself, and one of the boys will pick you to answer the questions. We'll do quick fire questions, so it's fastest finger first. They are much easier. So the person with the lowest score. Ooh. It's between Tell and Milky. You're both on 2 points. So, you want to do rock, paper, scissors on camera to who gets to pick?
No, I'll be a gentleman and let Tell pick first.
Milky, don't want VAR. Milky, don't want VAR.
Shut up.
Liverpool.
You're glad that Wembley is in the middle of us right now.
Process complete. I through with the process.
Damn it, boy.
Right. Does anybody in the chat want to get involved? Who wants to
speak up.
team up? So now you can all click on comments again, because obviously the chat are your friends. So you don't have to hide away. So you can click back on comments. Corey, I know you want to have a go. Ash, nice to see you, mate. Ash, you want to get involved? Team up with one of the boys. Jack, I think Jack don't have a Scooby about Star Wars, does he?
I was going to nominate Jack as well.
Go on then, Corey. So tell who's you picking. You might as well pick Corey, the only one that said yes so far.
Yeah, go on. Come on, Corey. Get my yellow jackets, boy. Come on. You got to do.
I'm not sure if anybody else is going to say. I'll give it a minute to see if anyone pipes up, and if not,
Yeah,
if you want to look, I think you could actually get these. So
What's the name of the TV show?
the person with the what's the name of our dog? Person with the next amount of points is obviously Milky. So
I was going to join in the chat on my second account.
hello.
It gives it away because it's Lord Commander Milky, so I was like, damn it. You'll know it's me.
I'm Mayan Rilke.
I'll go with Meg. Meg can be my member of the chat.
Oh, brave. Right. At Wembley, do you want to back yourself, seeing as you have the most points? It's totally up to you. But you've got you'll have a massive delay on the other two. So I'll let you play as yourself, but I'll get a timer out and you've got a 30-second delay.
All right.
Or you wait and see.
Why not? Let's spice it up. Go on then.
Right. So Corey and Meg, fastest finger first. Oh, we had a few more people join the chat actually, so I'll give it another half a minute. If anyone from the chat wants to get involved and answer on behalf of a Wembley, be his partner, fastest finger first, some little Star Wars trivia. I promise you, it's not that bad. I'll give you just under a minute.
Come on,
I need
chat.
one more person.
I'm used to being picked last for teams, but come on, chat. One of you.
Milky's
Solid
doing
ball.
it, isn't it?
Hello.
I'm waiting for Milky to just come on the right of your screen tell after the VAR comment.
He's going to come through my door.
He's going to come through your door. He's going to come through it like the Family Guy drink. Just, oh yeah.
Surprise, mother.
Wayne Deacon.
Oh no. Hello, Wayne. Wayne, do you want to get involved, mate? Do you want to be a Wembley's teammate and answer some quick fire Star Wars questions?
Come on, Wayne.
First, fastest finger first. A Wembley is the only one without a partner. He needs a partner. Do you want to play, Wayne?
The QPR win tonight. So didn't play.
Wayne Deacon in the chat. Oh God. Hey Wayne. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wayne's in. Wayne's in. What a hero. So we've got Wayne, Meg, and Corey. So in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Come on, Corey.
1, bang. What is the name of Ahsoka and Huyang's ship?
Damn.
No, it's not called Hello Milky.
It's definitely not called Slave One.
No, it's not called shit
Oh,
either.
no. Think
I was
of
going
Lego.
to say it.
Think of Lego. This is probably the hardest one out of the 3.
Can I type in the chat?
It's not a bad guess by Meg.
Yeah, well done though. A good one.
It is not Stargazer. I'll give you a clue. It's got a dash in the middle. It's 2 letters. Well,
There's a letter and a number in it.
it is. So there's your clue.
I don't even know them.
Think I might know. I don't know though. It's the numbers I don't know.
I'll give it. Oh, good guess, Corey. But that is not it.
Ooh.
I'll give it 15 seconds, and then the teammates can pipe up.
It's a clue for Corey. The letter is right.
That's a clue for everyone.
That's a clue for everyone, actually. Yeah, I've just announced it. Ghost. Oh, there it is.
Corey's right. It is T6. So that is a point to Mr. Talks. It is a T6. Well done, Corey.
Wayne was
Well
close.
then.
That's Hera's ship.
Yeah, I thought it was.
On the spot. Right. Next question. This one
Come on, Wayne.
you should all be getting. You should all be getting. This is easy enough. So next
Go on,
question in 3, 2, 1. What color is Ezra's new lightsaber?
I don't even know.
Corey's coming in clutch. He's got a fast
Quick
fingers. That is
draw.
correct. It is blue. End of the episode. End of the episode uses the same emitter. Oh, Wayne's got it right as well, but Corey's got them fast hands. Uses the same emitter as Kanan.
Nice
Well,
take,
the
Wayne.
Corey's
same-
coming in
he's
clutch
got-
for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got the same. It's cool that
Yeah,
he
uses the same emitter, which was quite a nice touch. in Professor Hu Yang's apparently the biggest cupboard in the world. But hey ho.
Quite enjoyed that conversation between the two of them. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, I did. It was like watching.
You're all right, Meg. I knew
Pick
what
a
I signed
colour,
up
Meg.
for.
Pick a colour.
Right. So one question left. One question left. So in 3, 2, 1. How many episodes does Anakin appear in the Ahsoka series?
Does that include voice?
Ooh. No.
Fastest finger, Meg. Just go 1, 2, 1. No, enter 2.
Type 1
enter.
to 8.
Every
1, 2, 3.
every. Oh, Wayne! A millisecond in
Yeah!
front.
Going.
It's correct.
4, 5, and 8. No, 5, 6, and 8.
5, 6, and 8. That is correct. Yes. So his voice appears in the same episode that he appears in as well. So yeah, 3 episodes he appears in. Well done, you two. I like you, Meg.
Joe, are you on Sky Wi-Fi? Has she got a delay?
Come on, we got good Wi-Fi, and Meg's closer to the router. So yeah, so that is it for the fun and games. The winner, thanks to Corey, is Tell.
Yay.
Well done.
What you were going to say,
I'll get
Ryan?
you a
Yeah.
Jaeger bomb.
Yeah.
I'll get you. I'll get you a Jaeger bomb. Thank you everyone for playing. Well done, Corey. Well done, Wayne. Thanks for coming, Meg.
That's what she said.
Oh,
Oh, I
my
love that
God, what
photograph.
is
Oh,
that?
my God.
We'll just move on to our overall thoughts of the series. Just a little quick summary of what we think.
What is that?
Nothing too quick. I'll try to find the creepiest photo I can find. So we'll start with Tell, the winner. Then, what do you think? What did you think of the series as a whole? Just a quick 4 sentence summary. Nothing too major.
A great interpretation into live action, with plenty more to, with more. I can't just tell off now. Wow, can't concentrate now. Yeah, a great interpretation to live action with plenty more to come. Yeah,
That's some serious pink red eye there.
Yeah, too close to the mothers. What about you, Milky? What was your overall thoughts in a quick little summary? What's your overall thoughts of the series?
Overall thoughts of the series was it was absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see where it's going forward, and it laid the groundworks for what I hope can maybe retcon the sequel trilogy. Maybe people will fall in love with Star Wars again. But more importantly, I loved what Ahsoka meant for me, being able to do lives like this and hang out with you guys and get more information from more Star Wars nerds that I didn't technically know. You know, I've always had Titleist by my side, but it's been good to branch out and get other people's opinions because of Ahsoka. So I'll give it that as well.
It seems like it's flown by for me. It's been
Hell yeah.
6 weeks, this series, and it's gone like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely flown. What about you then, Awemba? What do you? What's your overall thoughts of the series?
Clone Wars live action, do it.
Do it.
Hope for the future. I think they've got enough source material now that they can intertwine legends and stuff. I think they're going the right direction. I'm curious to see where the Acolyte goes, but I think it's far enough away from what we've seen that we wouldn't have to worry if it does bomb. But very hopeful for what good old Dave's handling.
Yeah. Oh, cheeky. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Yeah, not much to say for myself. I absolutely loved it. There is little bits and pieces that a little nitpicky, but since Disney's taken it over, I've personally have come to learn to not take all the negatives and just be a downer about it. Just enjoy that we're getting the content and we're getting most of it right, especially with a series like this. Yeah, it's the best. My opinion is the best Star Wars live action series they've done as a whole, from start to finish. I think it all flows really well, and you could probably watch episode 1 to 8 quite fluidly, where as other series they've done before that you could easily, even with Rebels and the animated stuff, you can quite easily just skip episodes out and skip filler. This one doesn't really feel like filler if you watch them all in a row. It feels like all the episodes lead into another one. So
Jar
yeah,
Jar
that's
episodes.
sort of. That's
Do you think the
absolutely
episode
brilliant.
would have gone down better if Ahsoka had have fell off the edge and then we didn't see her again till the finale? They carried on with everything else that they did that we got, but then after Thrawn gets away, we cut to the world between worlds and the conversation between Ahsoka and Anakin, and then the final shot is Ahsoka being lifted out of the water. I think if you put 5 and 6 at the end, I think it's a perfect season. I just feel like the last two kind of, it's a roller coaster, isn't it? You can't get to the very best of what we have. There's only one way down from there, you know? So we have to go down a little bit. But I think if the final shot with Ahsoka being lifted out, I think that would have meant more.
I'm going to go out on a real limb here. This is going to make people go, ooh. I think someone out of, I would have said Sabine. I think Thrawn coming back and should have had a cost. Someone should
killed
have.
her.
So Thrawn should have, something should have happened. Thrawn, the final plan or whatever. There should have been a reason that there was a cost that she paid. She went to get Ezra. For him coming back, there should have been more weight.
Yeah.
To just set up how imposing he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey said, favorite Star Wars show so far. That's for sure. Totally agree with you, Corey. And Wayne said Star Wars series are absolutely smashing Marvel. Yeah, well, that's a completely different. That's something else we could talk about for bloody hours.
Loki.
God.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, we talk about it for hours because they absolutely are. But we will find out tomorrow whether Marvel is starting to string it back. So then, that's our chat of Ahsoka done. Thank you all for listening. I know we've rambled on for quite a long time. Obviously, 6 weeks of a show, 8 episodes to get through, and we've gone through it pretty thoroughly, in all fairness. So, just to sum up at the end, then, what our upcoming plans are for our channel. So, Milky, what have you got coming up on your channel in the near future, mate?
So Ahsoka is done with now. I'm not going to do another Ahsoka video. I'm going to leave my episode that I did for 7 where it is, and people can watch that and see my thoughts. But moving forward, tomorrow, I'm going to be dropping another one of those videos, but it's going to be House of the Dragon, my 5 top anticipated storylines going into season 2. I will give everybody listening, though, a fair warning right now. I am very versed with that kind of world. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is my jam. And there will be spoilers in the videos. I have read the books. I know what happens. I don't exactly know what they're going to do in the show because it's, I haven't seen it. But if they're going off what's in the books, what I say could be a spoiler. So just be warned if you watch that. And then, hanging out with the guys for Comic-Con on the weekend. It's going to be great. Filming loads of content. And then, just hanging out. I'm going to get back on my bike soon, editing. I'm loving it.
Lovely news, buzzing for the weekend as well. What about you, Tel? What you got coming up? I imagine much the same as far as the weekend's concerned. Busy.
Yeah, before I'm going back to your last slide, with the writer's strike going on, and Star Wars Celebration's not for another 4 years, when do you think there would actually be more announcements with Star Wars? Or do you think they'll just tweet it or something? Or do you think, I don't know, when would we actually hear news?
I don't know. It's weird. They've kind of they've not pulled the plug on stuff, but Skeleton Crew has seemed to just gone under the rug. I've seen a leaked trailer of it, so it's definitely happening. It just seems like they're shelving them to push back a bit. So future announcements, I'm not sure. I did see today that they're optimistic for Ahsoka season 2, but it's still not been announced. And the way they left this series, it's just weird that they've not announced it yet.
Same Mando.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm just personally just playing it by ear with Disney and just appreciating the stuff that we do get and just hoping that they'll listen to fans from the last couple of bits and just let Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni do their stuff because they know what they're doing and they're doing it well.
Yeah, it was the same with the American con. I think it was the one Headless went to. All the
ICC?
I think it was, but all the big names didn't turn up, did they, to promote new projects?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I think that was an opportunity where we would have heard news, but a lot of them didn't even turn up. But for my channel, I've got all Comic-Con Scotland stuff this weekend. So, there'll be a Scotland vlog out Sunday. That'll be my next video. No live stream tomorrow, but we will do a live Friday night, either in a boozer or a hotel room, depending on the Wi-Fi. But you'll see some of these boys on a live stream Friday night. But yeah, and finally, I will just plug my TikTok as well. I do a bit of a few videos on TikTok as well. So that's more a bit of complete random stuff. It could be football, could be Funko Pops, Comic Con stuff. So
Bang the link. Bang the link in the chat.
yeah, well, it's just Tell Talks. You can just type Tell Talks. But yeah, all Comic Con Scotland stuff, and the next 7 days, and then probably a bit of low key once we're back from Scotland. But yeah, can't wait for the weekend.
Yeah, same. And Wembley, it's very good to see you back in front of a camera. It's been a bit of a hiatus, isn't it?
It has.
What are you thinking? Getting the bug, chatting to camera.
I think that, for context, for anyone, my channel was a gaming channel, and long story short, the games that I used to play got updated so that my PC didn't have the graphics card to actually keep up with the game, so I couldn't record the games, edit, and record OBS at the same time. It didn't happen, and I bought a house, so I can't afford a graphics card. So I think at this point, I have got a bit of the bug. I think my plan at the moment is to be like Rotashaw. If you guys call me, I'll turn up on your channel and do nothing on my own. I think that's my current thought. I have mentioned to myself about possibly getting into Lego, because again, love Lego, or something along those lines. There is intent at some point to come back when everything's together and the house is together. But if you guys ever need another guest, give me a call. I will happily do this again.
Yeah, I definitely will. I've really enjoyed your insight, and your explanations have been very, very in depth. And it's nice just to get other people's opinions. We've established sort of, we kind of know where all three of us stand really, and we elaborate on stuff. But we're all pretty close now, and we know almost what our opinions are going to be. So it is nice sometimes just to get another set fresh, and then watch all of our eyes light up when someone says another opinion and go, oh yeah, didn't think of that. It's a good shout. It makes you think, doesn't it? So yeah, really enjoy it and really appreciate you coming on. And that is it. The stream is open to you. We'll go for another few minutes. I know it's gone over, but we have waffled quite a lot, especially at the start. I do apologize, but stream is open to you guys. If there's anything you guys want to ask, fire away.
Well, I firstly want to say thank you to you, Joe, for letting us come on as your guest on your first live. I've really enjoyed myself coming on, and congratulations on how successful it's been, because I think it's been a great night.
Yeah, this has been great. This has been awesome.
Been a pleasure.
Really enjoyed this.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate the kind words, boys. It means a lot. Corey has said, I'll definitely give it a watch, Milky. Love seeing your opinions and stuff with House of Dragons. Awesome. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. And just to say as well, be very much happy if we do revisit again the likes of Clone Wars, or if again maybe we can go from the beginning, go from whatever the Tales of the Jedi into Phantom Menace, whatever we do. I'm up for that sort of thing. The only other thing, we need to get EA away from Star Wars games and give it to someone else. That's the next one. Yes. Get EA off of Star Wars games and give it to someone decent who actually cares about it. No
FIFA points in Star Wars, please.
Give it to FromSoft. Give it to FromSoft.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know people say about like, oh, EA did Fallen Order. No, they didn't. That was Respawn, wasn't it? And EA tried to shut down Fallen Order, and then you had bloody, what was it? Flipping, as you said, loot boxes and packs in Battlefront 2 and all that. I currently, my computer will be updated the moment we get a Star Wars RTS, a proper Star Wars RTS like Empire at War, Company of Heroes style Star Wars RTS with all the factions. Then I'll pay for an updated graphics card.
And Corey has asked, what time on Friday, Tal? I don't know about you.
We don't really know. I'd guess, if I'm guessing about 7:30, that'd be a complete random shot in the dark. But yeah, once we check in, we'll have a rough time, and I'll schedule the stream a couple hours ahead, so you'll have a rough idea.
Just follow our Instagrams, and we'll let you know in time. We'll give you a year before we go.
Corey will get the notification in the Discord anyway. So
there you go.
Yeah, once we all touch down and stuff, obviously delay dependent and stuff like that. Once we've all met up, then we can get a plan in place and stick the schedule out. So you'll know and we know, really, mate. Just keep an eye on the Discord. And if that's it and no one else has got anything, we will start to wrap up. So yeah, thank you everyone that is still in the chat. Hour and 45 stream. So yeah, really appreciate you all coming out. Really appreciate you three for helping me out tonight. bit daunting as I've not done one before, but you've made me feel very at ease, and I very much
I think you
appreciate
did very
it. So,
professionally.
Really
Well done.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So,
How have you found it?
thank-
How have you found like controlling the slides and the actual
Yeah.
stream? You felt comfortable?
surprisingly all right, actually.
You get a bug for it, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually all right. It didn't take a million years to prepare, and I've just been dreading it about having time to prepare stuff. And well, StreamYard's brilliant, so yeah. That's sort of my thoughts.
So you're gonna do another
really.
live then, yeah? You're gonna do more?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Let's go.
You got an outro?
Yeah.
You got an outro for this?
I do. We'll just check to see if there's been anything else. So, yeah, keep an eye out. Yeah, Friday, all good. Yeah, love to see you in there on Friday, Corey. Thank you very much.
I think you need
Have
to
a
come
great
up with a
time
name
at
for
Con.
your lives.
Yeah,
So
I'll have a
the
go. I'll
Dino
put-
Joe show. What comes to mind?
That's a good shout. I put Dino discussions, but it was a very long-winded. Yeah. Cheers, Corey. I'm sure we will. It's going to go by far too quickly. As for my channel, yeah, obviously Comic-Con Scotland all weekend. Meeting 4 guests at present. Might meet more on the day. Depends on the sort of bug we get and how busy it is. But yeah, so be vlogging Friday night, traveling over, a couple of bevies with the boys. Obviously got the live stream Friday night on Tel's channel. Vlogging all the Saturday. I'll have a video coming out probably midday, 11 o'clock, something like that on Sunday. And then I'll have another video midweek next week, filming the Sunday. So yeah, that is all I've got. So if there's nothing else, we will wrap up. So thank you all very much for coming. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we shall see you all again soon. And definitely see you Friday on Tells. See you later all. Nice one. Ta-da.